he had the kind of heart attack that normally kills people. And the day he had the heart attack, I was out of town, and I thank God for my daughter because we were in Atlanta and he had the heart attack and they called me and I needed to get home, but I wasn't really in a good way to be driving, and my daughter took over and really broke the law getting back to Columbus. 90 miles per hour. Yes, my mind was on my husband, but my eyes was on that speedometer. And, God had mercy on us. And so when I got there and I saw my husband, he was completely out. There was nothing, he was out. And so for the next couple of days with him being out, it gave me time to think of how I was going to do what I needed to do and all of that. And he finally woke up, but he was in the hospital total of 9 days. And I'm going to tell you, have you ever heard the saying, it's your reasonable service? You ever heard that?
It sounds familiar, but I can't say that I've really heard it before.
Right. Well, it's something that most church people aren't, they would know what that means. It's a scripture, part of a scripture. Well, when my husband came up and I found out he was going to be in the hospital for 9 days, that became my reasonable service to be in the hospital for 9 days. That meant that I needed to make sure that I got my life in order in a way where when he opened his eyes or whatever, he always saw me. He always saw me. It was important to me that he knew I'm here. I'm here. So what I would do is when he would be awake and I know I needed to go bathe and get some downtime or whatever, I waited till he was awake and I would get one of his friends or his son to come and stay long enough for me to go home and do the things that I had to do, right? And they were fine with it because they were going to be visiting anyway. And that was the only time that I left. Now, I've known people whose spouses went in the hospital and they would go home every day. I didn't do that because I set an example of if something happened to me, this is how I want my husband to roll. I want him to roll like that. I want me to be so important to him that sitting at the hospital all day ain't nothing but a thing. So that's what
Mhm.
I did. It wasn't long after that he got diagnosed with the cancer. So going through that was way different.